on location today, hanging out in Eagle Rock, California, where it is absolutely lovely weather here. And I am hanging out with my friend Anna Valenzuela. What's up?
Oh, not much. Welcome to the House of Luxury. That's what we call this house.
This is great. And there's a new paint job on the house, too.
Yes, it is bright purple blue, and then we have blue door, and there's a porch, and it's a pair. I can take no credit for it. It's all my roommate, Brandy Posey, just crushing it out in these streets.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very luxurious house. In fact, somebody sent us, we have no idea how it happened. If you're listening and you sent us a sauna blanket, thank you. And also weird, but so thank you. It's like a Korean day spa in there.
It's like a hot blanket?
It's basically 2 heating pads that zip up, and there's a hole for your neck, and then you just get into it, and then you're like a burrito in your own house, and then you sweat out all your toxins, and it's amazing. It's so powerful. It made me detox from my nicotine vape unexpectedly.
What? I don't. I'm stunned because you said sauna blanket, and I just thought of an electric blanket. It keeps you warm on a cozy night. But now I'm
it gets up to 120 degrees. I think it goes higher than 120. Actually,
so
you can cook your ass.
Cooking yourself, basically.
Yeah, you're cooking yourself. Yeah, no, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's very luxurious. And then we have lots of yoga bolsters and pillows. So we set it up so it's you can lounge and watch. One of us will lounge and watch TV, and the other one will just sweat.
Cook.
Yeah.
Okay, this might be a little gross.
Sure.
What do you do after, with the juices that are left after sweating in there?
You wash them off. You just take we have for all of our yoga equipment and exercise equipment, there's a Peloton in there. It hasn't eaten a child yet.
Okay, good.
But for all of the exercise equipment, we spray it down with a vinegar cleaning solution. So we just do that with the sauna blanket.
Okay.
Yeah, we have plans.
I'm just I'm a very sweaty person, so I'm just this seems like a nightmare for me.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit of a sweat monster. It does make all of your pores open at once.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's real crazy. It's real crazy. I even put stuff on my face, and I got so hot and sweaty, my face was just pouring sweat, and all this stuff was coming off. It was pretty great.
God.
I'm just saying we're killing it in these streets.
And someone just sent this to you out of nowhere.
Out of the blue. Oh, hello. Thank you. Oh, we're getting mail. This one's for Brady.
Oh no!
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we're just living our lives.
Yeah,
over here. We're killing it. How have you been?
I'm doing all right.
You're back in LA. Is it weird being back in LA?
Yeah, it's it's weird how I was saying a minute ago before we started rolling. It's very the same. It felt like I was not gone for 4 months.
Yeah, it's a little uncanny valley, especially because the stuff that hasn't changed that you would think would change. You would think we would come back to comedy and we would want it to be a better place.
Yeah.
But for sure, everyone was just it's status quo. That's what we want. We want things to really go back to normal. And I'm was it ever normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be less normal because everyone will be less than a year in, and a lot of people will have quit, I think.
You think a lot of it?
From what I'm hearing from my ears that I've got to the ground on the open mic scene, it is a bunch of who the fuck is anyone right now.
Well, they might think too that folks have quit but are just not going to open mics like me. I don't want to go.
That's true. Yeah,
I don't want to go.
Yeah,
I'd rather do a Zoom show.
Yeah, I think that's what Carter and Sam are doing today. The improv is back on the porch.
Oh, what?
But shout out to the improv. They are going to be requiring proof of vaccine to get in there.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I was like, wow. Oh my God. A comedy club did something that wasn't despicable.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Watch, it's you have to be vaccinated with what you call it, adrenochrome or something.
Right. Well, no, that's the store. The store makes you do that one.
It's built on the ground of adrenochrome. We don't actually believe that, but it is the funniest part of QAnon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, I do have a somewhat related story. This is from New Brighton, Minnesota.
Ooh, already starting strong.
30-year-old Michael Solomon of New Brighton has been charged by the Justice Department with conspiring and attempting to provide material support to Hamas, a designated foreign terrorist organization.
Okay.
Michael Robert Solomon got on the FBI's radar last year when he was seen carrying a gun at a George Floyd protest in Minneapolis.
What?
Solomon admitted yesterday to trying to sell weapons to a member of the Middle East militia group Hamas, who turned out to be an FBI informant. This guy self-identifies as a Boogaloo boy.
So why try to sell weapons to Hamas? Because Hamas is part of the Palestinian resistance. So, right. Why? What are you doing, sir? Pick a cause. Well, that's a turducken of weird causes.
Yeah. Well, his reason that he claims is that he was trying to raise money. He was going to try to sell a bunch of silencers and a bunch of modified, machine guns to get more money to get more guns, kind of a thing.
Sure.
But we've covered a lot of stories on this podcast about people hiring hitmen to kill their either husbands or wives, and it turning out to be the cops. And,
yes.
I just, for the record, would like to say, for 99% of humanity, there's no such thing as a hitman.
No.
There's no such thing as selling arms to terrorists. That's can't just be a guy on the internet and being like, I'd like to kill my wife, and then type in Google how to kill my wife, because everyone that responds to you is a cop. And I would say the same thing. You can't just be some white dipshit from Minnesota that's like, hey, is this Hamas? You guys need some machine guns?
Hello, are you Hamas? Do you happen to have the number to Al-Qaeda?
Right. I got to get rid of these guns.
ISIL on the line.
I got a garage full of illegal guns that I need to get rid of, not the cops.
Oh, what a dummy. What a blessed, stupid dummy. And also, at a George Floyd thing as a Boogaloo boy.
Yeah, people are taking your picture. Because that's obviously what happened. Is somebody took the picture and then somebody did a little cursory Googling Facebook search and was like, okay, we're going to watch this guy. And then it being the FBI, the next step obviously is we're going to entrap this guy and try to make him think we're Hamas.
Can I tell you I'm furious at the Boogaloo boys for taking Hawaiian shirts away from us? Because I came back from Thailand with a lot of very good Hawaiian shirts. And then and they're perfect. They're light. They're gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
And they're made for ladies. They're great, but now I look like a fucking Nazi if I wear them.
Right. Yeah,
which is rude.
Yeah, I've
Hawaiian shirts.
I've said this before.
Why would you do this?
We curvy boys have very few fashion options, and Tommy Bahama used to be our best friends.
They're just leaving you bowling shirts left, and that's not.
Yeah, no, dude. Okay, so I have two items of clothing that immediately come to mind that I wore once, suffered the sling and arrow of one cutting comment, and never wore again.
Who hurt you? I'll kill them.
I think in both cases it was just random people. So I think I still have actually. Oh, God, I wore it in a sketch, and now I can't remember which one. So I've got it for comedy purposes, but I can't just wear it in my day-to-day. And that is, I actually have a Hawaiian bowling shirt, but it's low-key Hawaiian. It's a black shirt with the two classic racing stripes down the front, but if you look closely in the racing stripes are kind of almost cream color. And if you look closely, you can see little flowers and stuff in there. So it's a very low key Hawaiian,
Yeah.
And I wore that to the bar one time, and somebody was like, "Oh, I like that shirt. You look like a young Tony Soprano." And I was like, "Well, okay, that's it for this."
Boo. If that was a comic who said that to you, ask him if they brushed their teeth that morning. The answer's probably no.
This was pre-comedy. This was this was 2008, 2009. And then the thing is, in both of these cases, these people were not trying to be insulting. I think they legitimately were like, "Oh, it reminds me of this thing I like," and I'm like, "Yeah, but Tony's a big guy."
I do that to people all the time. I'll be like, "Oh, you look like a this, and this," and they're like, "You mean that ugly motherfucker? I hate you."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to compliment you. I don't know how to compliment people.
Yeah. Oh, I've gotten many times, especially when I was doing the tours and stuff like that. People are like, you know who you look like? I'm like,
Nope,
no, but I
please
bet it's
don't.
about to hurt, whatever you're going to say. But the other one was, and I posted a picture of this on Instagram when we recently did a little reunion of my two college radio shows.
Amazing.
And my buddy Miles and Adam and I used to do a country music show on the college radio station called the Hot Damn Radio Hour. And we got asked to host a music festival in town.
Yeah.
And they listened to our radio show and they're like, oh, we'd love to have the Hot Damn Boys come and do this music festival. And so there's a picture of me wearing this hat, and it was the only time I ever wore it. It was like, not like, I understand that you can't really pull off a trilby hat, like one of the little, milady, one of those little hats. You can't pull that off unless you're Frank Sinatra, which I'm not. You have to be 5'6" and 100 pounds to pull that hat off as a man.
You shop at that suit store in the valley, the 5'8" and under.
Yes. Like that is a short, thin man's hat, and so I wasn't trying to pull that off, but it is like a black, like a an actual fedora, like a wide brimmed hat, and I wore it to that music festival, and I was walking around, and some guy was like, "Hey man, you look like John Popper from Blues Traveler," and I was like, and that hat went directly in the trash. I was like, okay.
And then John Popper just like materialized, took the hat, and was like, it's mine now. Every time
the hat brings me back.
Yes.
But
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but anyway, point is, fuck the Boogaloo Boys for taking Hawaiian shirts.
Fuck that sad man.
They should have taken bowling shirts. You're right.
Yeah, see, they should have taken bowling shirts. They would have had more success with bowling shirts for sure. Although it would have made Guy Fieri very sad. And
sure.
You can't make Guy Fieri sad.
That's
not good. But that guy sucks. Don't know what else to say other than he sucks. He's not very smart. Bless his heart.
Like I said, I'm not trying to help these guys out, but I will just say to everyone, there's no such thing as a hitman.
Right.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
Your dumbass is not going to be able to find a real hitman. You just can't.
Yeah.
You don't run in those circles. You're not John Wick. There is no hitman.
Or I was thinking like dumb version of Syriana.
Yes.
Like Syriana, but like spelled with like a Z and like
Syriana.
a C and like just a crazy spelling of Syriana.
Yeah.
Still Syriana.
And furthermore, there's you. If you're listening to this show, if you know anyone, just anybody, you aren't going to be able to contact Hamas. You're just not.
Yeah, it's like you know what? It's like if you want to start your crazy organization or whatever, you got to do it like a sourdough starter. You got to just do it at home. You got to take an apple from your yard and you have to let that mold or whatever, and then you got to start that.
Sell machine guns locally. Are you telling me that there aren't weird militias that live in the woods in Minnesota?
You're probably more likely to sell a machine gun in the States than you are to foreign power, honestly.
Yeah, that's the other thing. How are you gonna get these guns out of this? Like the whole thing is just.
I realized I had this really cool shirt that my boyfriend got too happy to wear. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And it says it's part of the LA Gun Club. It says LA Gun Club.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that shirt. It's one of my favorite shirts to wear on the road. But I recently wore it up to the 805 San Luis Obispo area just to like see my family, and I got all the wrong kind of attention. And I gave him the shirt back. I was like, I have to retire the shirt. He was like, why? I was like, trust me, it gets the wrong kind of attention. It's like very uncomfortable.
Too many people winking at you and making little bang bang.
Yeah, it was weird. Like old men would like stop me and be like, "Where'd you get that shirt?" And I'm like, my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, have you been there?" And I was like, "Yes,
I'm there every day."
Yeah, what do you want me to say? Just like, do you want me to just like flash a gun at you and be like, I'm there right now? Like,
I go there twice a day if I'm mad at my wife.
So crazy. Such a crazy. I was just like, I can't even wear these shirts out in these streets because people are thinking that they're just like trying to be like, are you like me? I'm like, nope.
Yeah, no, just like the way the shirt looks.
Yeah, it looks dope on me. That's the problem.
Yeah, I know that shirt. Good
shirt, right?
Yeah, I saw somebody wearing it, and I've a friend back home, my buddy Miles. Shout out to Miles. He's a big gun collector, and I was like, oh, he needs an LA Gun Club shirt.
He does.
Yeah.
Get him one.
It's a cool
He'll
shirt.
look great. And other gun collectors will be like, brother. And
Right.
Weird. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well, I'm getting a little parched.
I've been eyeing this. So I don't drink or do drugs, and a party for me is an energy drink.
Yeah.
It's a party. This one particular, Rip It.
Yeah, it's a
Rip It energy fuel.
So I think shout out to our friend Paul in the UK. Paul has been keeping track of all of the energy drinks that we've consumed.
Wow.
And I mean, this bit's been going on since November, so it's quite a lot at this point. So we've done quite a few Rip Its, but I was at the 99-cent store this morning.
Like one of my favorite places. I'm surprised we didn't run into each other.
And I tweeted this, but it was true. I did see a man who appeared to be in his late 30s
I saw
get yelled at by one of the women stocking the shelves for riding his skateboard. She was like, "You can't do that in here." And he was like, "What?" And he got mad at her. And I was like, "You can't get mad at her.
You're ride a skateboard at a store,
you're fucking, and especially like if you're 15, fine, you know, like I did dumb
shit. Sort of like sweating the lyrics to a Sublime song.
For sure. It wasn't quite a longboard. It was one of those like kind of half. It wasn't like a trick skateboard. It was
in his late 30s. He's a dad. He's a dad. He's got to have the dad board. He's got to have the like. I don't want to break my ankle.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and he was just like kind of I saw him before she did, you know, so I was already like kind of like halfway contemplating, like I was like, should I like take a picture, film because this is funny that this old guy's doing this, and then she just started yelling at him. I was like, okay, well that's hilarious.
So we're having a Rip It from 99.
So I made my way over to the energy drink, and I've made this clear on the show. I unfortunately fell very deep into a serious Rip It addiction because they're really fucking good. Like, that's the worst part.
I have a question for you. Have you ever had a Rockstar Sour?
No.
I haven't seen them in a while. That might have been my favorite version of a Rockstar.
Okay.
It tasted like liquid Sour Patch Kids.
Okay.
And I would drink them, and then I would like go to Karma Lounge on a Wednesday and be like,
Karma Lounge. Yes. My God.
Yeah, I was coming in with that energy. Also, the Yerba Mate Sparkling. I really like that. And I'm getting really into the bubblies with caffeine.
Oh, Bubbly Bounce. Yes,
Bubbly
of course.
Bounce.
Yeah.
I like those. I like the tall boys with the 52 grams of caffeine. How many grams of caffeine are we working with in a Rip It?
So I believe the Rip Its are... let's see. I'm not sure about this particular one. I think they're usually like...
It's from the 99, so it's probably just like you go to read it and it's just static.
Yeah. I think they're 200 milligrams.
Jesus.
I mean, that's a lot.
We're gonna party.
It's a lot.
You better crack that open. I'm an old lady. If I drink that too late, I'll be up till tomorrow.
Well, this particular flavor... the weirdest names on these. It's called Stinger Mo.
Stinger Mo. Like Stinger Bell? Like Stringer Bell.
I was thinking Stinger Missile because they do have an established kind of...
And this is, as you were telling me before, this is the official energy drink of the Defense
of the Department of Defense. Yes. All four... maybe 5. I don't know if the Space Force is using them yet, but all the branches of the Defense Department...
Yeah.
I
imagine the Space Force, when you go to drink out of a water fountain, this shit comes out.
So, I'll go ahead and...
I'm so excited. Rivers?
I'm going to go ahead and crack this.
Opening it up. He's got a good approach. Oh, nice. Really got the sound of it.
Oh wow, it's an upsetting color.
It looks like pee, but it looks like the kind of pee that's in a water bottle that's been thrown out by a trucker.
Oh, God, this is upsetting.
Right? Is that correct? It looks like coffee piss.
I hate... I'm so sorry, and I hate that I've sold this as being good because I just got a little whiff of it, and unfortunately, I think the flavor is supposed to be a bootleg Red Bull. Oh boy, I think I'm
medicinal.
Oh no.
It's really
I
just got a whiff of it. I'm like, oh no.
Here's the thing that sucks about this whole bit that we've been doing is the thing I've taken away from it is that I hate Red Bull. Just that flavor is my least favorite flavor, and the landmine that you run into when you're buying weird energy drinks that you're not sure about
is they could all taste just like either Red Bull or Rockstar.
That's
Rockstar
the default.
is my flavor, with the exception of the Rockstar Sour.
Yeah.
like Rockstar is my least favorite flavor.
Ugh.
Monster.
Mm.
But all right, let's do this. Here, cheers.
All right,
Salud.
cheers.
Salud. Yes.
All right, salud.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh. Oh God. Oh Jesus.
This does remind me of like being on the road and like having somebody be like, "Oh, we have drink tickets for you," and I'm like, "Cool," and then I just go to the bar and I'm like, "Give me a Red Bull," and then I pound the Red Bull and I go on stage and I regret it 2 jokes in. I just started speeding through. I'm just like, ah! Like,
well, folks, I was supposed to do an hour, but here we are at let's see, 27 minutes. All right. Well, anyway, I'm Anna Valenzuela. Follow me on Twitter. Have a good night.
Good night. I got too amped. The worst time that happened at Templar Brewing Company, they have micro cold brew coffee on tap.
Uh-oh.
And I drank 2 of those and went on stage and I was like, is this what every comic in the 70s felt like?
Yeah.
It was too crazy. It was, this is nasty, but it does also taste. Here's my theory. I think that they have the technology to make energy drinks taste good.
I said, I'm so sorry I gave you this kind of rip it because most of them are pretty good.
I think that what it is they believe that in like the consumer now associates a certain butt-ass flavor with energy.
Right.
So now we're locked into this butt-ass
So it's
flavor.
like take your medicine kind of a thing. Like, it's not good, but...
Have you had the alternate flavor Red Bulls, like the blueberry or the tropical?
Oh, yeah.
Those
So
are delightful.
I think... I don't know if this was...
I'm still drinking the Rip It, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm going to finish mine. Hold on.
I am a 12-step recovery bitch. I will. There's never been an energy drink that's been opened in front of me that I haven't finished.
I will say the finish on it is not as bad as the finish on a Red Bull. It kind of...
Or a Rockstar, because a Rockstar tastes like you just swallowed a vitamin.
Yeah.
And this has much more of a cotton candy finish.
Yeah. It's not as it's not good. It's my least favorite Rip It. I much prefer
Rip It String R Mo.
Yeah,
String R Mo.
Or I think it's Stinger Mo.
Stinger.
Stinger.
Oh, I had Stringer Bell stuck in my head.
Yeah.
I just started watching. I'm turning into that lady on NPR who's like, and I just love The Wire. I just started watching The Wire, and I do have to say the first 5 minutes of that show, I was like, oh, this is flawless television.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Nobody. They weren't lying.
Yeah.
All the obnoxious white dudes that would corner me and be like, you gotta watch this show.
Yeah.
They were correct.
Oh, I love that show.
But Sting R Mo. So do you have a rating system for these things?
Yeah, so we go 1 through 5. Paul, that's a 1. That is a fucking...
Yeah, it's a 1. I'm still drinking it, though.
No, I killed it. I just had to chug it. Because I'm the same way as you. I'm like, I'm Pat committed. I'm going to finish it. Fucking, whenever we have Joe Raines on the show, Raines takes 1 sip and then just leaves it there. And then...
What is that? What is that level of...
I don't know.
I don't know.
he's trying to be a good boy. But...
have you tried... Does this qualify as a coffee? Have you tried... Or not the coffee, energy drink. Have you tried the Coca-Cola Coffee?
Oh, we did it on the show. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's rough. It's really rough.
It is rough. I still finished it.
No, me too. I bought 2 of them anticipating it to not be what it was. I was like, well, there's no way it's just going to taste like someone poured a coffee into a Coca-Cola. And then you're like, that's
exactly what it is.
Does not.
Who was what maniac was, you know what? I bet it was somebody at the factory.
Yeah.
Like how they created spicy Cheetos.
Yeah. It's definitely a parts are greater than sums situation where you're like, I could double fist a Coke and a coffee, and that would be a better experience than pouring them together.
I love how many podcasts have tried this because I heard about it on Knowledge Fight. Then you guys have done it.
Yeah.
And then Lady to Lady did it, and I drank the dregs of Brandy's 3 Coca-Cola flavored coffees.
Yeah. It is just, like I think I said on the show, I was just like, this, it's like you had a certain expectation going in, and that expectation was that it will taste like something other than what it tells you very in plain English on the can it is going to be. And then when you drink it, you feel like an idiot because you're just like, well, I should have seen that one coming.
It is the definition of signing up to do a gig you regret.
Yeah.
It's like, well, maybe they won't book 15 comics on it this time, and maybe they will pay me equitably, and maybe they will pay me on time, and maybe they will. And then you get there, and it's exactly what you knew, and you're like, really?
It's Michael Bluth opening the fridge and seeing the bag that with a sign on it that says "Dead Dove, do not eat," and he opens it up and there's a dead dove in there, and he goes, "Well, I don't know what I expected." Exactly. That is Coca-Cola and coffee. It is a dead dove in the fridge, and you're just like, "Well, I don't know what I thought this was going to be." But
have you guys tried the highballs?
Which one is that?
A highball is a sparkling energy drink. It has no sugar. It has no juice.
Oh, it's like a seltzer, like an energy seltzer. I've seen those. I haven't tried one yet.
Favorite.
Okay.
There's 3 flavors. I think there's like a citrus, there's a lime, and there's another flavor. And you can get them at like Ralph's and Vons.
Okay.
And they are fucking delightful.
That might be next because I did I road tripped it back out here, and it's already.
Do you want water? I can go get you some water.
It's okay. I think I've tamped the Rip It down my esophagus.
If you throw up Rip It on this podcast, I will laugh until I die. I'm sorry. I'll just be like, I'm sorry, guys. It's Anna's podcast.
I'm taking this over.
He threw up his guts in the middle of but that's so funny.
Oh God, I don't remember what I was talking about. I kind of road tripped it back out here, and I stopped. Anytime I stopped at a gas station, it just became this sickness of like, all right, immediately I'm going to go to the back, find the energy drink case,
and
find the weird ones I've never heard of. Mm-hmm. And yesterday we finished the last one. I've been back since April 1st, and that's how many I had. And we've been doing 3 shows a week. So
yeah, we gotta send you some Rex. I do love the sparkling yerba mates.
Yeah,
those are really good, and I do like the highballs. Those are really good. I basically like stuff that is a little hippie-ish. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just like it's still trash,
right?
But it's trash you can drink on a yoga mat. That's
I've just been going straight like the type of stuff that kids in the Midwest drink while they set things on fire.
Yeah,
that's really where I was aiming at. Yesterday the drink was bucked up, and
you're drinking these things possibly every day. Rivers, you gonna die. You okay?
Hey, when life gives you energy drinks, you have kidney failure,
Exactly. As she says as she vapes, because we had an energy drink and we're going to go full outside of the 12-step meeting. You want to know what it's like outside of an AA hall where you see somebody in a leather jacket and biker shorts and they just surrounded in clouds? That's the energy I'm bringing to this.
But anyway, now we're going local because I'm out of road energy drinks, so now I'm going to be squirreling all over LA looking for stuff. So
I will have to. I'm doing DeChico's next week, and I'm gonna have to. There's a microbrewery up there that makes their own energy drink. I'll see if I can find it.
Oh my God!
I did because I remember it was like one of their. It was like this pub. It was a very fun gig, and they had an energy drink that they make, and it was great, like a locally sourced. And by the way, all energy drinks should be made in Fresno, California.
Yeah.
Fresno, Bakersfield, Tulare, they should all be made there.
As soon as you said it was a brewery that makes its own energy drink, I just immediately wanted it to be a thing where like they had a couple of brewmasters for every type of beer where they're like, okay, this is Michelle, she handles IPAs,
yes.
she's been to Holland, she knows her shit. Okay, this is Jimmy, he handles our stouts, he's German, he knows what he's doing. And then they just cut to like, oh yeah, this is Ricky, and it's just a guy in Juggalo face paint. He's like, he's our energy drink guy.
This is Skeeter.
yeah, this is Skeeter. And then he's just,
Skeeter, what up, bro?
Yeah, he just turns around and lights a fart on fire.
Gets on his skateboard, drives to a 99-cent store.
Or he just pops his shirt off and he's got the Conor McGregor tattoos. He's like, you want to go? You want to fucking go?
You want to fucking go?
I tapped out like 6 guys with my triangle. You want to fucking try me, bro?
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's so fun.
He's like,
I love it.
But Rogan's right, though. It is like crazy to kill an elk. You know, it's crazy to eat the thing you kill. Like, that's crazy. Do you ever do DMT? Ooh, wah!
Oh God.
That's all.
He doesn't actually have feet. They're just vans.
Yeah.
Just like vans that have adhered to his skin, like an exoskeleton.
Oh, that's a sketch right there. I gotta cut that. That's a good idea.
We have so many weird sketches. You are very good at sketch ideas. You're very funny.
Well, thank you.
You're great. You are great. You're just the sketches I've done with you have always been delightful.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yes.
check out Moonlight Madness.
Yes.
It's still up there. Well, yeah. So we got a little energy. Would you like to take some questions from our loyal listeners?
I saw. First off, so many questions I feel like really loved.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them feel assaultive. There's a fuck, marry, kill question in there that I'm like, how dare you?
well, that's Alexis. She rules.
She does rule. I know.
Listening in Indiana. Oh, yeah. We just did her podcast.
I know. It was so good.
But yeah, I figured I'd start out with this one here because it's the one where I just immediately came up with like 50 things I wanted to say, and
Okay.
like I said, I think I said this yesterday. I just like that people know my heart out there, where they're like they can ask a question, and I'm just like, yeah, you get it, man. And this one is at Chris Murphy. If you could solve any unsolved crime, which one would it be? I was like, oh boy, I got so many things to say.
Okay, you go first because I'm gonna try to cook one up.
Okay, so first of all, I want to shout out this podcast because it fucking rules. So my obvious answer is DB Cooper.
Okay.
Right? Like DB Cooper is like an easy one. You just want to know, like, chances are he fell to his death. You know, if people listening don't know, in the 60s, a guy dressed like Don Draper, that was one of the things on it when Mad Men was going on. Everybody thought that Don Draper was going to become DB Cooper at the end or something, which never made any sense to me. But, you know,
cool,
he's a white guy with slick down hair. So it's like, okay, there weren't that many white guys with slick down dark hair in the 60s that wore ties.
Never.
No one. But yeah, the obvious one's DB Cooper.
Okay.
And the funny thing about DB Cooper is that his crime was part of like a larger series of like planes in the 60s and 70s used to just get hijacked all the goddamn time.
Cool.
Usually it was by like people who would basically be like, fly me to Havana because you couldn't get extradited from Cuba. So people, you know, steal money and, you know, people, political asylum seekers, whatever.
Right.
That happened all the time. DB Cooper stole a bunch of money, jumped out of the plane somewhere over the border of Oregon and Washington, and they never found him. They never found a body. The only thing that they found was in the 80s, some kids found some of the bills from the suitcase full of money that had the serial numbers they were marked bills, and they found them in the woods. And that's the only thing. So a lot of people think that he, you know, his parachute fucked up because he jumped into, you know, from what they say, like incredibly high winds from a 727. And basically they never recovered the body. So that's the one I would like to, you know, I'd love to solve that if I could somehow recover a skeleton or find out that he got to South America or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, the whole thing is that one is always crazy to me because he stole all this money, and then you would think like, yeah, you're gonna hijack a plane, have them take you somewhere where they can't get you. Don't jump out over Oregon.
Right. That is strange. Yeah, but also Oregon is like weirdly. There's people in Oregon that are like weirdly anti-government.
Oh, of course.
I can imagine if he just fell in the right like compound.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, oh, you running from the government? Good.
Oh, you have a pile of money? We got machine guns to sell and silencers. We were going to sell them to Hamas, but thank God you fell out of the sky, bro.
I'm glad you got there before I did.
No, that's true. But I wanted to say there is a podcast called American Skyjacker, the final flight of Martin McNally, who was a dude who was inspired directly by D.B. Cooper and did the exact same crime where he basically hijacked a plane, demanded a bunch of money, they roll the money onto the plane, and then they take off, and he's got a parachute, and he jumps out, and he doesn't know where he is, and he's got the money in his hands in a giant Halliburton briefcase.
Okay.
He jumps out, and then he immediately loses the money. So he pulls the parachute, he gets pulled up by the parachute catching, and the money falls out of his hand. So he just watches whatever it was, $200,000 in 1970s money just fall to God knows where. And now he's just free floating, and he doesn't know what state he's in, he doesn't know what city he's over. And the guy lived, and it was one of those things of like the podcast is all about his trying to escape from the cops and then getting arrested, going to prison. He escapes from prison. He tried to get he tried to do a helicopter escape at one point where some guy he was in prison with, his girlfriend stole a helicopter and tried to land it in the prison yard, and they were trying to get on it, and then she crashed the helicopter. So kind of fucked up. But it's an incredible podcast where they just talk about this guy's life. So check that one out. So D.B. Cooper is my easy answer.
Okay.
But yeah.
Because I've been sitting here, I've been going through all the there's social justice-y crimes. I'm like, Vanessa Guillen, we got to find out where she is.
Yeah.
Right? And then I was like,
we got to find David Miscavige's wife.
Where is that?
Where's Shelley?
Get Shelley.
Where the hell is Shelley?
Come back. And then I was like, well, what about like the disappearance of Native women across the U.S. and Canada?
Oh yeah.
Why is that happening in so many different areas? Is it just like, is it an organization? Like, what's happening?
Right.
And then I was like, Kristen Smart, but they've almost got that one solved, right? So I'm gonna go with. Have you seen the documentary Murder at Middle Beach?
Yeah, that's HBO, right?
Yeah,
where it was like the woman doing the what was it like?
It was they were called gifting tables.
Gifting tables,
yeah,
that's right.
Just,
that was
really
was crazy.
Intense, like pyramid schemes. She was like harvesting people out of a 12-step program, which is also fucking great.
Oh yeah.
And then like her sister's in on it, and then she had another sister that you were like, you thought there was a sister who was like really straight laced, and you thought like, she is not. She's definitely the one who did it. And then you meet the wild sister, and then you're like, she just at one point was like, I told somebody in a bar in Florida I wanted her to kill my sister. I wanted him to kill my sister, and then I woke up naked and penniless. And I was like, what?
Wow.
So like, I would like to see that solved, if anything, because just that sweet kid, just like made a movie out of grad school and HBO bought it. You know? Good for him. Like the whole thing is just like is weird. But for my own personal knowledge, I need to know who killed that woman.
The gifting table thing was crazy because I'm sure it's everywhere, but down south there's obviously like the Tupperware parties.
Yes,
for like that's the much lower down the social ladder from the gifting tables was like, we straight up have $150,000 cash in this house, whereas they would do the Tupperware parties, and then I hate to say this,
Pampered Chef.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I hate to say this, but my mom went to a couple Pampered Chefs parties in the 90s.
Yes.
And we still use that knife that she got. Like she bought one Pampered Chef knife in like 1996.
Go with the pizza stone. The stone cookware. That's always real nice.
Well, she had the knife, and then she also had a crinkle cutter, which kind of just looks like it's like a slicer, but it's crinkly, so you can make cucumbers into pickle chips, and you can do crinkle cut fries with it and shit.
Nice.
So it is a cult, but we still use the two things my mom got suckered into buying in the 90s. So
these like weird like pyramid scheme financial cults. Probably the most common one in the Latino community is Herbalife.
Herbalife, of course.
Herbalife, baby.
What didn't they at one point like have a stadium named after them and shit?
Herbalife is the official sponsor of the LA Galaxy.
That's what it is. Yeah, it's Herbalife Stadium or something.
Yeah, it's Herbalife Stadium. So it's like they're like a legit thing, but it's also like I don't know. It always feels it's like any diet drink. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's. I think I tweeted this one time. I was like, my the only reason I'm on Facebook is to watch people from my high school fall for pyramid schemes because you're like scrolling and it's almost like you just see somebody say something about Juice Plus and you're like, she fell for it.
So yeah, that's I think the mystery I would like to see solved, and of course, like the whole Epstein situation.
Oh yeah,
Let's
for sure.
What that is?
Yeah.
Full disclosure, again, not a Q person, but like, let's see what all that is.
Right.
Well, that's a really good one.
It's the other thing. I've talked about this a lot on the show, that QAnon, the thing that I hate most about it is that all other loony conspiracy theories have been subsumed by this one thing.
Oh, yeah.
So normally, very creative, insane people who would just be like, Bigfoot travels through time, man. The Earth is hollow. Like, those people are now just like, whatever QAnon says, that's what I'm into. It's like, no, go back to the fun, crazy thing that you liked.
Fun stuff.
Yeah,
buddy.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like, take a community college class, learn how to sculpt.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't fall for so many shits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you just enjoy, like watercolors or something, like go take your creative brain somewhere.
But and then there's like the Epstein thing where it's like mysterious, but it's also, completely in line with, the power structure and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the thing that everyone, the real like loony people are like focusing on with that, it's like, no, that's not, you're going, you're going too nuts with it,
Occam's razor.
Yeah.
It has to be Occam's razor. What is the simplest explanation?
Exactly.
And sometimes the simplest explanation is a gross thing you don't want to consider, that like a lot of powerful people like to fuck children.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Well,
but like adrenochrome, too far.
Yeah.
Not simple.
Exactly.
Not easy.
Yeah.
What even? Those people have probably just been drinking Ribbit this whole time, thinking that they're drinking kid blood. It's so sad.
Yeah. Well, and it's a lot of times people are, who are really into like conspiracy shit like that. It's like, yeah, you've got the right target, perhaps.
Yes.
But you've gone left. You zigged when you were supposed to zag.
Yes.
And like my good example of that is like, I hate that crazy like anti-vax like fucking weirdos are just like, Bill Gates is gonna put microchips in your brain, and you're like, yeah, he is bad, but he's not doing that. It would actually be better if Bill Gates was eating babies, because the human stomach can only hold so many babies. Instead, he's holding patent protections from the third world and killing shitloads of people so Pfizer can make $1 more. He's so much worse than you even know. If baby eating would be great compared to what is actually happening.
One baby at a time.
That's fine.
Yes.
So if we could get India a vaccine, he could eat the babies all he wanted.
Yes. Absolutely.
So anyway,
all right.
Get smart. And I said DB Cooper is my easy answer. I brought the fun answer that maybe people don't know about. And that's why I wore my New Orleans hat today.
Okay.
Because do you know about the Axeman of New Orleans?
No.
Because that's the one. DB Cooper's like, oh yeah, you're a normie. Yeah, let's talk DB Cooper. The Axeman of New Orleans is like the craziest shit ever. So it happened. 6 people were killed, 6 were injured from May of 1918 until October of 1919.
Okay,
and then,
this is a cold case. This is a
very cold case, completely frozen case, and they have. It's very similar to Jack the Ripper, where they have a million suspects and none of them are perfectly fit.
What if it's Jack the Ripper?
Right. Well, that is one. That is like the most galaxy brained thing. Is like, oh, he came to, even though he was killing in the 1880s,
right.
Old man Jack Ripper.
Yeah.
So he attacked people. So he has an axe.
Mm-hmm.
That's his thing. He hacked people up with an axe, but. And this is perfectly like, in line with the time period. He did it with people's own axes. Because this is a time in which everybody, I guess, had a fireplace.
Yeah, you had an axe.
Even though New Orleans is hot as fuck, even at Christmas. So even that, I'm like, what are you doing with these damn axes?
You never know when you're going to have to break up a chifferow.
Yeah, exactly. Hard times, daddy. But he usually used people's own, like, he would just go out to the tool shed, and be like, oh, there's the axe, and then would chisel out a panel of their door. Which that's the one where I'm like, how did you not hear a guy chiseling your door? But then would just reach up, let himself in, and then hack people with an axe. And he never stole anything, and everyone he killed was Italian.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's just such a weird detail.
Oh, that's such a strange detail.
I think he killed one non-Italian person who was just married to an Italian person, but everyone he killed was straight up had a vowel at the end of their name.
It's the opposite of the Olive Garden. When you're here, you're dead. Why would you?
We call it Axe Battagliano.
Axe Battagliano. That is hilarious.
But the reason
Italian Americans.
Yeah, sorry, New Orleans World War I era Italians.
New Orleans Italian Americans.
Oh, there's a bunch. Yeah,
okay.
People. Funny thing about New Orleans, people when you go like, oh, do a Louisiana accent, most people are gonna go, oh, I guarantee, you put that Tony Chassery in that Creole. Oh, I guarantee. They're gonna do the Cajun accent.
Sure.
People from New Orleans sound like they're from Brooklyn and they're just talking slightly slower.
Oh.
Like it's like the the true, like go look this up. Like
Sleepy Brooklyn.
The true New Orleans accent sounds like the East Coast, like a big city on the East Coast, like Philly or New York. It's very, very interesting. So when you meet a real New Orleanian, you're like, oh shit.
To me, it doesn't sound any different. But I've had people say I sound like I'm from New York, from Brooklyn, Cajun. I think a lot of times people get Cajun and Creole mixed up. I don't sound Cajun. I just sound New Orleans or Creole.
So, and I don't know if that has to do, but yeah, lots of Italians. They were all at the, at the blade of the Axeman in 1919.
Jeez, so mad at Italians.
Yeah, but the reason I wanted to talk about the Axeman is because my favorite detail of the case is like Jack the Ripper, he sent a letter.
What?
To the police, and he even rips off Jack the Ripper because there's the Johnny Depp movie From Hell, and that is based on one of the Jack the Ripper letters, which starts like it's addressed from hell.
Right.
So the Axeman of New Orleans writes this: hottest hell, March 13th, 1919. Esteemed mortals of New Orleans, they have never caught me and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible. Even as the ether that surrounds your earth, I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleanians and your foolish police call the Axeman. So, like, already this guy's like an incel edgelord piece of shit. Like,
giving us real Israel Keys vibes.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. He is Israel Keys in 1919.
Oh my God. Okay, this is an exclusive Zero podcast.
Yes.
So my homegirl up in Alaska bought a very nice house in a very fancy neighborhood at a very, very reasonable
competitive rate.
Extremely competitive rate. She found out its original owner was Israel Keys.
Holy shit.
And he did beautiful woodwork all over the house. She'll show it. And there's one of his old grocery lists still on one of the doors.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh
she was like, she was sending me pictures. She was like, I'm going up in the crawl space hoping to find something weird.
Oh,
she was like, she didn't find anything weird. But she's a big fan of his woodworking skills. Beautiful. But if he had just stuck to being a craftsman and not the goth edgelord of fucking like serial killers, you're fine.
This is the main thing I wanted to include though with this letter. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as a most horrible murderer, which I am, but I could be much worse if I wanted to, if I wished. I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens. And I am in a close relationship with the Angel of Death. Now, to be exact, at 12:15 Earth time on next Tuesday night, I'm going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I'm going to make a little proposition to you people, and here it is.
Jesus Christ.
You thought the Italian turn was crazy. Wait for this. Here's his proposition. I'm very fond of jazz music, and I swear by all the devils in the nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose home a jazz band is playing at full swing at the time that I have mentioned. One thing is certain, that is some of you people who do not jazz it out for that specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe.
Wait, what? Is the letter authentic to the killer?
As best they know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that would be a really fun prank.
Yeah, it's a crazy prank.
It's a crazy prank. No matter what a prank, it's just like the origin of the prank is
yeah.
Good. It was
well, the origin of the prank would obviously be a trumpet player. Like, man, we got to get work. How are we going to get work?
Yeah,
it's like, well,
you know what? I'm going to kill more people if I don't get to do.
I need some live jazz. It's like, well, hire every jazz drummer and trumpet player in the city.
Oh my God, what a weird. By the way, I've been applying to these like writers fellowships, and you always have to include a mission statement. I'm just going to copy and paste that in there and just see what happens.
Also, this asshole clearly had a thesaurus with this last line.
Oh, no.
Well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, which he obviously just looked up hell in the thesaurus and was like, oh, Tartarus, all right, that works. And it is about time I leave your earthly home. I will cease my discourse, hoping that thou wilt publish this and that it may go well with thee. I have been, am, and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or in realm of fantasy. And so...
How has this guy not been a character in any Sandman novel?
Right?
Yeah.
It says, the thing I researched says, that night all of New Orleans dance halls were filled to capacity, and professional and amateur bands played jazz at parties at hundreds of houses around town, and there were no murders that night. So...
You just want everybody to party. Hey, everybody. Everybody.
I'm doing a good thing here.
Yeah, this is my... Y'all go out and party.
Yeah.
Do that. Could y'all go party? That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's the real answer. D.B. Cooper, easy answer. Axeman of New Orleans, that's the one I want.
All right,
I'd love to solve that one. But
thank you for telling me about that.
I love it.
I will now just like be in an elevator and somebody will go blah 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 and I'll be like, have you ever heard of the Axeman of New Orleans? And just like talk to them about it, and I will remember that before I remember like a password to a website I need to access.
See, I think you and I have the same disease there, because
yes.
I can never forget the part of where he's like, everyone must have jazz,
everybody, jazz.
the most stereotypical New Orleans crime, a jazz-based spree of murders.
Oh God, oh woof, that would be. If they did that today, it would be stand-up comedy.
Yeah,
it really would. It would be like, I will kill you, but it wouldn't be like with an axe. It'd be like with a Cutco knife or something shitty like that.
Right,
like,
right, yeah. I got ninja stars, bro.
Ninja stars. Well, when it comes to random karate equipment, my bow staff is right behind us.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So, oh, shit, there really is.
Are inside.
Oh,
the size are inside.
Nice. You know, I have to be honest. This is the first time I've ever seen a bow staff in person.
It's a stick.
I mean,
it's a stick. It's just a stick.
Let's see. Let's do one more question here. I got so many. I mean, I'll stretch these out.
So many questions. We could lightning round them for fun.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's lightning round some of these questions here. Brian from Montana. Shout out to Brian.
Shout out Brian.
At Cardaholic. What's the one thing you wish you had done before starting your comedy road in life?
Learned how to write scripts and stuff. So when opportunities broke for me, and taking an acting class. So when like opportunities broke for me, I wouldn't just show up and be like, "Hi, I tell dick jokes." That's basically.
Do you have a pilot?
I'm like, no. How do you make a pilot?
I made fun of one in the front row one time.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, "How come you don't know how to do all this?" I was like, "Because I was working in drug and alcohol treatment." What about you?
I don't. I saw this question and I was like, I don't know. I feel like I didn't really have any direction in life before doing comedy. So comedy is sort of the thing I'm like super happy I did.
Yeah.
More so than anything. But I don't know. I feel like everything I could possibly say is pretty boring. Where it's like, I don't know.
PR would have been really helpful.
What's that?
A degree in like PR would have been really helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Or like video and audio editing. I'm taking all this stuff now, but shout out to Pasadena City College. Go Lancers. But there's also, what else? I'm trying to think.
I mean, that
stunt person school.
A stunt person school?
I would have liked to have gone to stunt person school.
Get launched out of a cannon and shit?
Yeah. Have you watched Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
So we're sitting there and I was like, I know how to do that. I know how to do that. I know how to. There's too many action movies, like Bourne movies. Sometimes I'd be like, oh, I know that throat's called Dakota Gaesh. It's cool that guy landed on his feet. I can only land on my back. And like people are like, I'm just like a weirdo when it comes to action movies. So I would kind of like to go to like stunt person school.
Yeah.
If I could go back in time, if I could turn back time.
Mine is almost. I think socially it was important for sure, but going to college, boy, I didn't use that really.
Me too.
I mean, I wouldn't have, I mentioned this like because, we did the little reunion shows for our college radio show. Like, I don't think I would have found my way into broadcasting or stand-up or podcasting or anything else without being on the college radio station.
Aww.
But really, I could have saved myself a shitload of money by just getting a job at the library and then just doing the radio station. Because you could, if you work at Auburn University, you can do the radio, or if you're a student. So I was like, well, damn, I could have saved some money. I could have been in the library, done my Matt Damon shit, and just read all the books I wanted to read, not have to take math that I didn't want to take, and then just did the radio.
But you've never been fired for a day job that you're supposed to have a master's degree for, but you just worked your way up, and then they went to pull your HR record and found out that you only had a GED.
Yeah.
That is what happened to me. That is the weirdest sting in the world. I'm like, yeah, but I'm smarter than half of your dumb staff.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, Hungry Howie's Pizza and Subs didn't look at my my accreditation.
All right, next question. Let's do it. I'm so amped up on energy drink. I only drink half of it.
I drank a bunch of cold brew this morning too, so it's just basically I just threw a little bit of gasoline on a fire.
This is gonna be great.
Paul in the UK, speaking of energy drinks, keeping track of our energy drinks at Mampers84. Real talk. What 3 movie characters represent you?
Ooh, what 3 movie characters represent me? Okay. Oh, you go first.
I thought of this actually, and this is a little bit of kissing up to Paul because I know this is his favorite movie the way it is mine. But I feel like I am, to some extent, an exact combo of Donnie, Walter, and the dude from Big Lebowski, all put together. Because
it's really accurate, like visually, spiritually.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Because like Walter's a guy who is I don't think I'm much as an asshole as Walter, but he is a guy with a plan who's also an idiot. And the dude is like an easygoing guy who's also an idiot. Okay. And then Donnie's like a kind of good time useless advice guy who's also an idiot. So I feel like that's kind of my vibe summed up into one.
Okay. Oh God, I don't 100% know how to answer this question because all the things I watch are like anime and like. I
mean, based on the bow staff, obviously, I got to say Donatello.
Oh, yes, Donatello.
You and Donatello are the only 2 people I know that have a bow staff. So
yes,
I'm going to definitely,
Donatello.
And you're very smart, like Donatello. Yeah. You got got 2 crucial Donatello features: smart and bow staff.
And a bow staff.
Yeah.
Okay. So Donatello definitely. I would say. The emotional crippling of the Silver Linings Playbook of J-Law in Silver Linings Playbook, and then the pure weird absurdity of Amelie minus the autism.
Okay, all right. This is from at JM Janks. If you had a Brewster's Millions type situation where you had to spend $1 million without keeping anything, what would you do?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would start there's 2 things I would do. I'd buy my stepmama a house because, or at least a plot of land to put her double wide on.
Yeah.
And then I would invest in a mobile home cooperative in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
For people to buy homes. And to maybe like have a section that's like for like almost like rehabilitation, that kind of stuff. But I would definitely try to like change our thinking around home ownership from like less like you have to own land to be a homeowner.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like maybe we like shouldn't own land. Maybe we should all like share it.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do.
That's where like the good part of my brain went was like because the housing situation out here is so glaringly
crazy.
Obvious. It's all you think about.
Yeah, I have old pillows in the back of my car that I just plan to give to homeless people when I go to the bank.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's where we're at here in California.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's if you can't keep any of it, I feel like building like a co-op of some kind is like a good thing, especially
cooperative comedy club.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Comedy club / record label / where you like
something like that.
Something good. But the problem is like we are the most scab ass group of people that you've ever seen.
100%. Yeah.
You cannot trust. There are so many of us that are basically socialists that would be so excited to like have a cooperative and then there would be some fucknut who can't be trusted.
Right.
And who would get in our way.
There'd be a lot of them.
There'd be actually mostly all of them. But
too many.
we are not good at organizing. We're a herd of cats. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is from the Vagina Monologues.
Amazing.
At Dirty Southworth. This is my friend JB. Shout out to JB.
Hey, JB.
How can I get the crows I befriend to come over? We're tied at the park, but they never come to my neighborhood.
Ooh, okay. I know this because there is, first off, we have an army of crows in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's writing this from Alabama. California, people don't realize this. There are only seagulls, buzzards, crows, and pigeons. That's the whole goddamn state.
Oh, and we also have in Los Angeles County feral parrots which you can actually hear right now. If you heard birds, that was actually not the crows. The crows sound like dinosaurs. They sound like...
Yeah.
And then there's some kind of bird I used to call the night bird that would just hang out by my window in North Hollywood and make noise at 3 a.m. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up, night bird. I don't know what that was. It wasn't an owl. I know how to identify a barn owl.
Might have been a nightingale.
Yeah, I have no idea, but it was very loud.
A whippoorwill. Those motherfuckers will.
Whippoorwill. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they got those out here, but they will keep you up at night.
So we have a lot of crows in this neighborhood. There's a woman on the corner, a little Latino woman, that feeds the crows old bread heels and popcorn sometimes, like popped popcorn. These motherfuckers loyal. Like, they all hang out on that corner, and as you round the corner, they're alerting that a person is coming by every step of the way. So I think that's what you got to do. Also, shiny things. They like shiny things. So bring them some bread heels and shiny things.
Okay.
There's a lot of crows in this neighborhood.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just thinking, wear a suit that's made out of food somehow. That just seems like the thing. They'll follow you anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And crows are, very, very smart. It's been proven that they can distinguish humans from one another, and sometimes they will, target them.
Some of the crows in this neighborhood are big, too. Like, they look like they could take my cat. Like, they're crazy. Oh, we have hawks in California. We have tons of hawks in California.
Hawks. Gotta watch those.
And one condor.
One condor's left. Gotta watch them, you gotta watch them purse dogs from the hawks. So this is at Caballero Frankenstein, at Cab Frankenstein.
Oh, dear.
When we do make 100% real, hard, proven contact with any form of alien life, what will they look like? Or will they have the same looks real, feels real feeling that you get from CGI? Or will they look like actors in suits and heavy makeup and prosthetics?
Oh, that's a really specific question. I think they'll have the looks real, feels real situation. I think they'll have a real... I don't know if y'all have read the Old Man's War series, but I think they're not. A lot of them are not going to be as hominid modeled as we would like, and they're probably going to look and smell real funky.
Yeah. I think it depends on when you say aliens. Are we talking transdimensional or extraterrestrial?
Great
Because
question.
Assuming we're talking about, transdimensional,
right,
you're probably dealing with a similar gravity situation on the Earth. If it's like Earth 2 or whatever.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yes. Yeah. And they come wearing Hawaiian shirts and they're racist.
Yes.
We have machine guns for sale. Are you Hamas? Take me to Hamas.
Take me to Hamas. I sell machine guns.
Black Lives Matters are terrorists. But yeah, you might be dealing with a similar gravity situation. What entices me is that, aliens would come here and then they just have some completely other, different gravity situation. So, I always thought it would be funny if there was a movie where aliens came down to Earth and they were just these giant jellyfish type people.
Yeah.
And then they land and everybody's really excited and the president is there and then the little ramp comes down and then they just immediately come off the ship and are just crushed by our gravity. And then we just have a lot of, alien goop to clean up.
Yeah, I mean that's all possible. Yeah, I imagine aliens will be kind of less goofy than us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's an us move, by the way, to go to another planet, not measure the gravity, and then walk out and die.
Yeah.
That's definitely an us move.
Did you ever see there was a show that was like, I forgot the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But it was like something to the effect of like exploring alien worlds. And it was supposed to be a nature documentary about theoretical life on other planets. And they had like the David Attenborough sound-alike guy, like, here on Gleep Gloop 6, this,
What network?
Let me guess, Discovery or
History Channel. Because History Channel's gone. That Ancient Aliens.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I would fucking love for ancient, because the idea of Ancient Aliens is so goddamn racist.
Yeah, exactly.
These people of color couldn't have figured out how to make a pyramid that aligns with the solar system.
The people in Egypt couldn't make a pile of rocks.
It's so annoying. So I would love it if it the Ancient Aliens was correct, and they'd be like, "What have you done with our fucking brethren?
Yeah.
You piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Of shit. How dare you? We did come down here and make all that shit.
Yeah.
Without us, you'd be dead.
Right.
It's like crazy. I think that would be really funny.
That theoretical alien nature show is so funny because you could tell they had put a lot of effort into studying the physics. Perhaps like they were like, okay, this star is this far away from this planet, which would make it spin at this velocity.
Was better than the writers.
Like the researcher was great, and then the researcher clearly gave the writers the parameters. They're like, well, because there's less gravity,
right.
Things could be much larger and still like float. And so they were like, oh, so you mean there'd be pink air whales? And then it was the most stoned show I've ever seen. I was just like, this is incredible that someone was paid to do this.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Let's see. I got one more.
Okay.
And you're going to probably be better at answering this than I am. The Multiverse of Marvel podcast at The Marvel Pod. Which comic book universe would you want to live in?
Oh, no.
For my money, they all seem pretty terrible. like every one of them.
Thinking about that too. I was like, ooh, Sin City. Nope.
Yeah, there's no comics where like shit's going good,
I would like to live in Transmetropolitan's universe. I would like to live in Transmetropolitan's universe because
what is that? I don't know. I'm not like I'm a very surface level. I know the movies.
It was an Image comic from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Uh-huh.
The hero of it is a journalist named Spider Jerusalem who has the most 90s ass tattoos you've ever seen in your life.
Spider Jerusalem does?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and he is sort of like maybe the best reporter, their future version of the Rolling Stone, right?
Okay.
And the world's gone.
He's a Cameron Crowe type.
Yes, the world's gone fucking bonkers, and so you have he's always coming after the president, and the one president that you have your first ones, which is much more of like a Nixon-y type guy, Reagan-y, Nixon-y type guy.
Right.
And then you have your next one, which was very much modeled after George W. Bush, and Spider Jerusalem calls him the Smiler.
Okay.
It's
like a reference to The Decider, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he had been cloned and alive for 2 years. That was the expose that they got on him. So I would definitely want to live in that universe, even though it is brutal and sad and exactly what you think.
Right.
A universe like that would be like. It's like just a real bummer. But it's also kind of like cool because humanity is still persisting. There's a really good vignette in one of the comics where a herd of old men get too amped up on Viagra and just fucking go rape rampage through city streets and shit. Like this comic is like such a moment in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's really smart, and it encourages you to think of heroes as being the people who tell the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I still haven't come up with one because the only thing I can think is it would be nice to just disappear for 5 years. Thanos does the snap and you're like, well, that was, at least I'm rested. But the thing I was thinking, I watched that Captain America, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and apparently someone, I was like, if you are like on your deathbed and Thanos snaps his fingers and you go away for 5 years, and you just come back and you're just still in horrible pain on your deathbed, you're like, fuck you. This is terrible.
You know what world you would crush? The Preacher universe.
Oh, Preacher.
You
yeah,
would
sure.
fucking rock the Preacher universe. You would crush that bitch.
Yeah.
Also,
Me and Arseface.
Earth's-Face.
See, I've only read like 3 comics,
Yeah,
so that was one of them.
What's another one that would be really good? The Jenny Sparks. What's the fucking whole thing? You can tell I'm a big Warren Ellis fan, actually. But yeah, any of that stuff would be cool.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody who wrote in. Anna, are you ready for our jam of the day?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All right, let's hit it.
She sits alone by a lamppost.
Okay, and that is, of course, Hootie and the Blowfish from their 1994 classic, instant classic, Dads Could Not Buy This Record, Cracked Rear View.
Yeah, I feel fingered by this song. I feel fingered at a college party, but at a college I don't even go to. Yeah, that's.
This was like, you weren't quite frat enough to be in the Dave Matthews Band,
Right.
but you were definitely, you could hit that Hootie level.
Hey, yo, I heard the Dave Matthews Band's got this whole like Fish sort of like Grateful Dead following now. Like they've
had that. Yeah.
Their jam band. I'm
yeah.
the co-host of my podcast 12 Questions. Davey Yates is a huge Fish person.
Yeah, so am I.
And
yeah.
So like I did not know that there were other bands out there, a jam band in.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
We got your Fish. You got your Soundtrap Sector 9, String Cheese Incident, Widespread Panic, and then, of course, Dave Matthews Band is like, and sorry if there's any Dave heads out there, that's kind of the jam band for posers, like
the Bouncing Souls of jam band.
Yes, 100%. They are, if you're like, yeah, I'm really into jam bands, I like Dave.
Yeah.
That's like being like, I love punk rock music. I fucking love,
Blink-182.
Blink-182.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But this band.
But Hootie, did Hootie ever get a jam band?
No, I don't think they're a jam band. They would be. I mean, I would put them right in just like that college. I don't want to say college rock because you say that and people think of like REM and the Replacements and shit. But I mean, literal college rock, not rock that's played on a college radio station, but music that is played by college students and their slightly older fathers in the 90s, which my dad 100% had this record.
He did?
Oh, yeah. I think, I tweet at me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this is the most, if your dad, in the 90s was going to buy a brand new CD that came out that year, Cracked Review is probably the one. That seems like.
Wow.
My dad's also a big Sheryl Crow person too.
Oh, my dad likes Sheryl Crow a lot. Yeah,
I'd put Hootie and Sheryl Crow.
Love a Sheryl Crow, especially like recovery people. For some reason, fucks with Sheryl Crow. And she's not like.
All I want to do is have some fun before I die.
Exactly. Wow.
But yeah, this song is the torch song. This is the power ballad. You got I Only Want to Be With You. You got Hold My Hands. And the truth is, I looked at the comments on both of those, and one of those songs was featured on South Park. So there were too many people being like, "I'm here from South Park," and then another one of those songs was featured on like some internet thing that I didn't understand. So there were too many comments for that. So I went to the power ballad to get.
What are the people on the internet that went? Because YouTube comments are the sewers of thought.
Well, yes.
What do they think about this song?
Okay.
This is crazy. Well, also, you're reading. If you're listening to this podcast, you need to sign up for the Patreon. You need to pay them more money because Rivers is reading YouTube comments, and that gives you brainworms. That's how you believe in the flat Earth.
A lot of these comments are not dissimilar from the Axeman letter. Like a lot of them. Okay, so let's get down into these comments here on Hootie and the Blowfish's Let Her Cry. First up, Isabella Slimes from 1 year ago.
Ooh.
Hey, this Walmart song ain't got a hit like this. Which, that's the funniest thing I've ever read. She called this a Walmart song, and she was like, hey, Walmart song, quit fucking me up over here. I hate it.
That's so funny. That's actually brilliant.
Yeah,
you got a hit like this.
Why you gotta hit like this, Walmart song? Which actually, that's the best. That's what I would label this genre. This is Walmart.
Walmart song,
not music that's played at Walmart, but music that's 100% consumed at Walmart.
Sold at Walmart. Because
Sold there.
It meets the parental advisory guidelines of Walmart.
Oh yeah. Next up, Calvi in California. Hey now, 2 years ago, I broke up with my emotionally abusive ex. I will mourn the woman she was when we met, and not this monster that she's become. I will think of her for a long time, maybe till I die.
Well, this is people having a fucking breakdown. I thought it was going to be just a bunch of kids just be like, this song sucks, you're dumb.
Oh, I filter those out. There was a lot of that.
It's a fan who had a breakdown.
Oh,
sorry,
there's
sir.
25 men that had a breakdown.
Okay, listen, dude, you got to get some therapy. Get some therapy. I mean, we all have an ex that kind of like broke our heart or whatever, but you don't want to give her that mental space. You got to live your life.
Well, you got to let her cry, you know?
Put a forge in your backyard. You go on Forged in Fire. You know what I mean? Get your shit together. Learn how to bake.
Ramsey Terry from 2 years ago. Any Mo. This song is not heard today because you have too many lickety splitters. Oh yeah, and a lot of fuckers like Oblamas, and then some of them wimmerns are toe hilly smellcats Clint hongs.
What was that even?
I think that was political commentary. I think
you won't hear a song like this today
because of Obama and Hillary Clinton.
By the way, sung by a black man.
Oh yeah. There's definitely some that address this fact too.
Why? I imagine that man typed this with his feet.
Yeah. I think where he says Oblamas is supposed to be Obama, and then Hilly Smellcats Clint thongs is supposed to be Hillary Clinton, but that is a stretch on a stretch. That is a melted cheese stick of a stretch.
That's not A to C. That's A to some letter in the Russian alphabet.
Yeah, it's A to Alpha Centauri and then to B.
And then B. Yeah, what is that? Okay.
I love this one. SSR from 2 years ago. I am currently dating Fortnite, so I can't be hurt. Shout out to you, SSR.
Fuck this emotional song. I will not be engaged emotionally by any of you motherfuckers, I swear to God.
I'm building forts and killing 12-year-olds on the internet. You can't touch me.
Man.
Hurting.
Oh my God.
John Anderson from 4 years ago. Yeah, it is you. I know it's you, Brandon. You're not as slick as you think you are. No one in the band is named Brandon. He's just talking to some guy.
Talking to somebody in the comments.
It's not a reply. It's just free floating.
He didn't know how to reply because sometimes I'm on the social media and I'm like grandma all the way. I think he meant to reply, but he didn't because he was maybe on his cell phone or something and he didn't understand. It is very funny though. Yeah, it is you. I know it's you.
I've seen your car at her house, you dick.
There is a thing. If I wish I could call my stepbrother right now and be like, okay, so one time outside of a trailer home, I heard somebody say, a neighbor just say, "Oh bullshit, you was with Chris." I can't just say that. I'll look at him and I'll be like, "Oh bullshit, you was with Chris," and he'll be like, "You was with Chris," and we can't. There's something about that is the funniest sentence. It is not quite our aristocrats. We have aristocrats, but that is definitely like you might be a redneck of our family is like, "Oh bullshit, you was with Chris." Like you can say that in a crowded restaurant, we'll all lose our minds. That's what that reminds me of.
Pete Rodriguez from 8 years ago. Fuck her, let me cry. I've done more than my share of crying for the girl I've dreamt about all my life. Kitty? Damn, too many tears for Kitty. It's a waste. Like, for another woman, not worth it. Love you, honey. Can't let you go. Damn, what the fuck? What's wrong with me? You?
Oh, God. I can't tell if they're like incels or like with imaginary girlfriends or if they're like just like sad dads.
Well, this next one is it's perfect.
Okay.
Elaine Provist from 9 years ago. It is always good to cry. Only tyrants and Hitlers don't cry.
Whoa.
because they don't have feelings.
You went there.
A real artist has so much sensors to feel life. An accordionist that plays with feeling, ... and sometimes with tears in the eyes. And he is indeed wearing a beret and holding an accordion in his profile picture. So,
hold on, is he
way
French,
to make this about
is he
you.
French accent?
Jay Hunter from 1 year ago. I almost got hooked on Coke in the early 90s. So glad I left that party. Clean to this day. Okay, I do drink a bunch of beer.
It's like when people are like, I don't drink either, when they're popping a Xanax and a joint in front of me. I'm like, okay.
And this one's a good companion piece to that. Sheila Woodland from 1 month ago. I do a lot of Coke. All caps.
By the way, you captured the voice of a Sheila. Have you met a Sheila lately? That's what a Sheila sounds like. I do a lot of Coke. Like, she sounds like a woman that could open a beer with her teeth. A Sheila sounds like a woman that has that cigarette case holder with the coin purse top and like a silver-plated lighter in the side, and just a bunch of like Benson hedges on the inside. She's a very specific woman, and you nailed that sound.
I got a lot of problems, and now you have to deal with them.
You know what? That ex-husband of mine, you can't trust him as far as you can throw him.
Yeah, now let me tell you a angry but still somehow boring story.
Exactly, where you feel betrayed by the lack of plot.
Yeah, he left the top off the cat food. Now let me tell you why that's not good. And you're like, okay, all right.
I know.
Sheila.
I'm becoming Sheila, honestly.
Thomas Allen from 3 weeks ago. Who the fuck is this lead singer? Wow, what a change of pace. The song's fantastic. I'd love to hear more from him. And I'm like, I got good news for you. He sells billions of albums.
Did you send him a Spotify link?
It's like, boy, all your dreams are coming true. He's had a solo career for 20 years, and he was in Hootie for 20 years. There's a lot of material from Darius out there.
Okay, so the thing about like country music to people who don't either A, live in the country, or B, deliberately enjoy country music on like a real level, is it's kind of like ska. You're not going to really know about it unless you've been in, you're around it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like everyone knows who Cardi B is now. It's not like, Taylor Swift, I guess, but like, is she really considered a country singer anymore?
Yeah, well, Cardi B comes up. I filter out all these comments because they're fucking stupid, but every single song I've ever covered, there's at least one person being like, this is the music that was the best, and now all we have is WAP. And they're like, people are so mad about that song.
I'm gonna let you know that Wet Ass Pussy's a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah,
it is a feminist anthem.
It's fucking awesome.
And I want to be brought on stage to Wet Ass Pussy every single time. Like, that song is a fucking masterpiece. And I agree. Can't explain to you why.
Yeah,
but it is.
Well, the rock and roll tradition of men being disgusting.
Yes.
No one's batted an eye at ever, pretty much. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna have a song that is very graphic and deal with it.
I would like you, by the way, if you have a problem with Wet Ass Pussy, I would like you to Google Trina. I would like you to Google Trina, and I would like you to look for a specific song. I don't know, Pull Over That Ass Is Too Fat.
Right.
That's a song.
Oh yeah,
they're
doing a 2 Live Crew thing.
Exactly. So like Trina, like all these, like in the 90s, there was a lot of, what is it? It's my neck, my back, my pussy.
Right.
Get into it. There's a whole world of black women who have been open about their sexuality for a bajillion years, and Wet Ass Pussy is just the one that you've...
it's the one you've heard of.
It's the one you've heard of.
Square.
But you're just a bummer.
Christopher Harrison from 2 months ago. I play craps, snake eyes, killer eyes. Don't forget it, cats. So,
are like Russian bots just getting too methed up?
Well,
what's happening?
We do have a theory here that a lot of the comments that we read are transmissions between Russian spies, that it's codes somehow.
Shit. This is so great. You just hold on. Rivers, you're a genius.
There's a lot of stuff where I'm like, okay, this is not a thing that makes sense.
That is correct.
Unless you're...
this is people they're like, okay, listen, I'm going to comment...
Yeah.
On Hootie and the Blue.
Go look at comment for Hootie. Go to Hootie comment. I'll be 6 comment down. It make no sense.
Exactly. We'll include cats, will include, I can't even remember, it was so stupid.
C says, I play craps, Snake Eyes, killer. Don't forget it, cats.
Someone died. Someone died.
There was one that we read one time where it was somebody being like, yeah, I think this is a really great song and I always enjoy, and then it was just like someone just banged the keyboard a bunch. I was like, oh, that person got shot in the head and just and their head hit the keyboard, and that was it.
Or the cat just like dropped their
and they're like, good enough. Submit.
Their energy drink just fucking fell on their computer
and started and shot a spark and started a fire, and they had to hit post as they ran.
I'm so amped up from that energy drink. I can't remember its name anymore. What was that again?
Oh, it was Rip It. Stinger Mo.
Stinger Mo. Fuck.
I got two more here.
Okay.
Bay Osborne from 1 week ago.
Bay Osborne.
Now you can go be with whoever you want. Without me, I want to trust one, at least. Fuck you, I don't care. Fuck you and your heart. Fuck you for not letting me see my kids. Why? Because it's done. Money, nothing. Nothing can change what our fearless leaders either should be.
Whoa, the turn.
I love
the turn.
We're like, okay, you're mad about, seems like a relationship, and now it's like, but you know what? It's not my insane, shitty personality. It's the government's fault.
This is an MC Escher painting of a post. This is insane. What are you doing? This is the end of Labyrinth. David Bowie just flipping around staircases. All right, where's this going?
He is dancing the magic dance. Yes. Let's see. What our fearless leaders either should have bluntly addressed. Fuck games and letting everything go. 100%. LOL. Not much. Happy birthday. It's been 6 years. 6 years of never would. 100% of my personality. Hootie, how's life? I've been held captive. I could text. Hootie, call government. Call government spy on me, trying to get back my doctorate to prove my liver pump.
The neighbors are staring at you. Podcast.
To move my liver pump, the inner aguis. I don't know if I'm going to make much. My love, high school sweetheart, best friend, love the... And then after all of that, they have their email here.
Whoa.
So they dropped all of that crazy shit, and then they were just like, they wrote what I'm going to assume and not read here is a real email address. Whoa. So I'm like, wow, so they want a follow-up.
They are not well. That person is, first off, very drunk. That person is very, 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 has been drinking for a long time, is having like hallucinations.
Because the grammar gets worse and worse, and there's this goes without saying, there are a shitload of emojis in that comment, ranging from hearts to smiles to middle fingers to 100s, emojis everywhere, and then it just deforms into just madness. I feel like this is a comment that this person was slowly writing all day, where they were like, I'm gonna sit down and bitch about my ex. Fuck you, ex. I fucking hate... Oh, shit, I got something to do. Hold on. And then it comes back. It's like, you know what? I also hate the government. Blah, blah, blah. And then they start going in on the government. And then it's like, also, I should get my doctorate back because these doctors rearrange my liver and my guts. Fuck you, doctors. And they're just getting more and more fucked up as the day goes along.
I can't.
Well, this last one will make you feel good.
Okay, good.
And finally, Slits McDeuce from 5 months ago.
Wow.
This takes me back to riding in my stepdad's crappy old green El Camino. That thing had no seatbelts, and if you turned too fast, the doors would fly open, so you could envision your own death. Wow, those were the days.
So accurate.
Fond memories of Dad trying to kill you on the highway. Courtesy of Slits McDeuce.
I was listening to Lucinda Williams. And
favorite.
I was like, what do you think of this? And he goes, it sounds like what you describe your mother as. And I was like, you're not wrong.
I changed the locks on my front door so I can't see you anymore. Oh, love it. Well, that is Hootie and the Blowfish with Let Her Cry, our jam of the day.
I think, you know what's funny about Let Her Cry is I don't think it is enough. It isn't different enough from, what were the other two songs?
Hold My Hand.
Hold My Hand and Let Her Cry are two. I think they might be the same song.
Yeah, I can't keep the lyrics together in my head because I will just start. If I start singing one, eventually it'll become the other. I want to love you the best that I can. Yeah,
amazing. Rivers, this has been fantastic.
Anna, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Anna V is Fun on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I'm not really good at Facebook. I've never been good at it, but you can find me on there. And you can find me at my website, annavalenzuela.com. I did update it the other day.
Yay!
I feel like a champion.
Hell yeah.
And you can also listen to me on the Unpops Network on a little known podcast called 12 Questions Podcast. Rivers has been on it. And it's just like a delightful, sincere conversation with my favorite grump in the world, Mr. Dave Yates.
Yeah,
so
it's
please.
perfect. Yeah,
come
and
on
he
in.
is a fish guy. He's not a DMB guy. He's not a fucking poser.
Yeah, he's a
real deal.
He is a fish man. We've had several fish community people on our podcast.
Oh yeah,
and we get lots of listens.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fish community is kind of sweet.
Oh, I gotta say, I might have even said this on the show when we were talking to Dave, or maybe it was just in private conversation, that Fish is a band that if you don't get into when you're 15, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, I didn't have that. My dad listened to too much jazz. We were it's my theory around I was helping somebody move the other day, and Steely Dan came on, and I started singing the lyrics, and both our dads are dead.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She was like, "How do you know Steely Dan?" I was like, "How do you think I know Steely Dan? If your dad is dead, you know all of you have the entire Steely Dan catalog down." I say that to say I was listening to Green Day at the time. I just didn't get the Fish of it all.
Yeah. I got into that band really early on, and then the thing I always liked about Fish is that they're kind of genre fuckers. They do things that sound like country, and they do things that kind of sound like blues, and and then I found the band Ween, which is the same thing, except they have specialized in being genre fuckers. And so I have pretty much been a straight Ween guy for a long time. But when I went back home, my dad has an XM radio in his truck, and the truck is the my little tooting around car when I go visit my parents.
I love it.
So the whole time I was back, I was like, I'm back into Fish full time. I love it.
Oh, that's so cute.
I'm back. So
I love it.
Anyway, tell Dave you got I'm back on the team.
Back on the team. We'll all go together. I do want to go to a Fish concert with him at some point.
We got. Hey, hit me up. I'll go.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, I do want to see what that's like.
It's gonna be hard to top. The last time I saw Fish was at Bonnaroo in 2009, and in the middle of the show, they were like, "Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Springsteen," and Springsteen came out and they did "Born in the USA" and Thunder Road together. I was like, "Okay, this
that's pretty cool."
It was cool. He had been at Bonnaroo the night before, and I'd seen his show, and it was mind blowing. And then I guess he stayed there to go play with Fish. So
I love that.
It was pretty cool.
Rivers, you live a life.
You live
a beautiful life.
That's right. Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley. Of course, the best way to support the show, head on over to patreon.com/thegoodspod. Sunday, I'm going to be putting up a brand new episode of our radio show that I'm relaunching, and that'll be actually free at patreon.com/thegoodspod. The first episode of the Dr. Rock and Captain Fantasy show. Speaking of Ween, our reboot that I'm doing with my friend Chandler, so that'll be a big music show. We have my friend what's her nickname? MDT Party, who is she's a doctor in South Carolina. She's like, I'm gonna pick a weird nickname to go with. So we're going with that. But yeah, that'll be up Sunday, and all that stuff. Second best way to support the show, head over to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Show the attitude of gratitude, because if you don't have the attitude of gratitude, fuck you, daddy.
Hello there, mister. Hello there, missus. I'm here on a mission. Ba-da-ba-dee-boo. How I got in, now don't worry about that. I got a friend downstairs. Let's keep it at that. Short story is, I'm here to collect. And yes, this here here is your axe, mister. As you may have guessed, I'm an angel of sorts, taking my orders from the angel of death. Only escape is jazzing on a Tuesday, else you come on down and keep me company. Police won't see more than blood and brains. I do all my work with an axe, mister. How many heads can an axeman chop if an axeman could chop heads? Dance to the tune of the Axeman jazz. Dance to the Axeman jazz. How many heads can an Axeman chop if an Axeman could chop heads? Dance to the tune of the Axeman jazz. Dance or you end up dead. Hello there, mister. Hello there, missus. Well now, it's that old Satchmo I hear. The phonograph jumps to the rhythm of the blade. Old Pop's got it going with his cornet. But let's face it, it's not a full jazz band, so I guess we're gonna have to get the axe, mister. How many heads can an axeman chop if an axeman could chop heads? Dance to the tune of the Axeman jazz. Dance to the Axeman jazz. How many heads can an axeman chop if an axeman could chop heads? Dance to the tune of the Axeman jazz. Dance or you end up dead. Second, and I'm not mad, I'm just glad we had this chance to dance to the Axeman jazz. How many heads can an Axeman chop if an Axeman could chop heads? Dance to the tune of the Axeman jazz. Dance to the Axeman jazz. How many heads can an Axeman chop if an Axeman could chop heads? Dance to the tune of the Axeman jazz. Dance or you end up dead. How many heads can